Today, the Strata nightmare continues. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, one that is posts covering finance and property news. The truth is that the current government approach to housing, which is based on building 1.2 million new homes over a 5-year period, won't be met. As I reported recently, the running total is around 60,000 homes below what will be required to meet said target. But worse, the strategy is driving the states to permit building up, meaning more people than ever will be sentenced to high-rise strata living. Areas like Canterbury and Bankstown are destined to be transformed from low-rise to 18 stories tall. As this article shows, under the council alternative, up to 4,000 new homes could be built and high-density rezoning extended to 800 metres from Wiley Park and Punchbowel metro stations. Low-density streets will be transformed with buildings between 4 and 18 stories. Inlet West Council has also revealed that the fairer future plan will mean that more than 30,000 homes could be built with buildings of mostly 6 to 11 stories clustered around Marrickville, Dulwich Hill, Croydon and Ashfield stations. Other councils are also proposing similar densification, encouraged by the federal money, which flows from helping to meet the 1.2 million target. Yet, we continue to see the poor quality of said high-rise construction. Recall the recent New South Wales reports that said half had significant defects, with waterproofing and cracking being issues which need ongoing attention. No surprise then to see that according to my surveys, the costs associated with strata fees, the ongoing fees paid by owners to the owners' corporation, are rising and rising fast and uncontrollably. And there are consequences for people who cannot afford to pay these uncontrollable rises. In fact, the ABC reported this week that half of all forced bankruptcies in the ACT last financial year were a result of strata companies seeking money from unit owners, with the territory figure well above the national average. An inquiry into strata management in Canberra has heard that some unit owners are struggling to afford increases to their quarterly payments, with advocates decrying a lack of financial hardship options. The ACT Legislative Assembly inquiry is examining the effectiveness of current laws relating to the powers, qualifications and licence of strata managers, conflicts of interest, fees and decision-making models. And it's also looking at whether an ACT strata commissioner is needed. But of course, they're not actually asking the big question, which is whether we should be building high-rise at all. The inquiry heard 50% of all bankruptcy matters in the ACT Federal Court last financial year were initiated by strata managers chasing unpaid money from unit owners. That's compared to 12% nationally. Community organisation CARE, which advocates for people experiencing financial hardship, told the inquiry that it had seen unit owners end up losing their homes over an inability to afford strata levies. We are seeing alarming figures where people are being forced into bankruptcy for very little arrears, CARE solicitor Tawanda Makamari said. This is just leading to homelessness, mental health solutions, and other challenges. This is a very difficult situation. He said that the Unit Titles Management Act of 2011 had failed owners in financial hardship as there were no protections to defer or pay strata costs into instalments. CARE wants Canberra unit owners to have the right to request affordable payment plans. And if the strata management refuses the payment plan, we want to see an external dispute resolution mechanism, they said. Because there are no options for payment arrangements once a contribution notice is issued and a homeowner defaults, the next step is the matter is taken to debt collectors or to lawyers, and the lawyers just proceed to take the matter to court. They said financial issues could quite quickly overwhelm households if people were dealing with job losses, health issues, or other costly setbacks. CARE financial counsellor Lisa Mays said that she had heard from unit owners who were knocked back by strata managers when they pleaded for a payment plan. Care told the committee inquiry it believes Strata managers resisted requests for payment plans to avoid added administration, and that once the matter was with legal firms for debt recovery, they were incentivized by charging fees for legal action. Ms. Mays said $2,500, or about 2 payment notices, was a typical amount of arrears that would prompt Strata managers to engage debt collectors or take legal action. There's no requirement on Strata to follow up notices before taking legal action, and we think that's unfair, Ms. Mays said. People want to pay their debt, but the system at the moment doesn't help them to do so. Ms. Mays said those already struggling were often charged hefty fees as well. We saw an ACT Civil Administration Tribunal order recently that had a Strata levy debt of $2,500, and the additional fees came to $1,000 on top, she explained. There was a mixture of appearance fees for the debt collector, allowable fees, which we're not 100% sure what that was, interest, and the ACAT filing fees. And Care also called for legislated caps on levy increases similar to existing ACT laws that restrict the amount and frequency of rent rises for tenants. The fees do go up, and they can go up without notice, Ms. Mays said about Strata levies. The owners might find that this quarter it's $800, but a decision happens or a maintenance problem is identified, and next quarter they might get a bill for $1,500. It's very hard for people to budget. The inquiry is ongoing and the date has not been set for the committee to report back. But my point is this: we're running headlong into a potential crisis as the current housing policies drive more high-rise development and as new property is built as cheaply as possible. Just like a dog is not just for Christmas but for life, Strata fees are also with their owners forever, with few controls and rises ahead that often climb much faster than inflation. In some cases, Strata managers are in cahoots with the developer. In other cases, it's simply bad building practice coming home to roost. But the important point is that anyone considering a high-rise unit needs to do due diligence on the Strata company. But this is difficult, as Edwin and I discussed recently in our rant, as they often obfuscate their finances or simply refuse to answer questions. As a result, the financial impact of ever-rising Strata fees is often not considered by many prospective purchasers. As a result, we can expect more bankruptcy matters across the country relating to the non-payment of Strata levies. This is yet another major fail, with accountability conveniently spread between state and federal governments relating, of course, to the construction story, such that both can simply blame the other. So individual prospective purchasers, remember, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And if you have seen your Strata fees rising recently, let me know in the comments below, because I believe that this is a much more significant problem than many people realize. And again, let me underscore, whilst you can mess around with changes to the legal protections or not, the underlying issue is poor quality construction and a rush to high-rise, which means that this issue is going to continue to get worse and worse. Now, if you're buying your home in Sydney's contentious market, you don't need to stand alone. This is the time you need to have Edwin Almeida from Ribbon Property Consultants standing alongside you. Buying a property is both challenging and adversarial. The vendor has a professional on their side. Emotions run high, price discovery and price transparency are hard to find, and then there's the wasted time and financial investments that you make. Edwin understands your needs, so why not engage a licensed professional to stand alongside you? With RPC, you know you have experience, knowledge, and master negotiators looking after your best interests. So shoot Ribbon an email at info@ribbonproperty.com.au, and if you use the promo code DFAWTW/Martin, you can get a 10% discount offer. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.